Opening statement from Coach.
Happy to get out of here with a win. A little bit of a slow start, not an ideal finish, but I thought everything in between was pretty good, specifically defensively. So yeah, we're pleased with the result, and overall pretty solid non-conference, and now we got to get ready for the Mountain West.
I guess I'll start with personnel stuff just to get it out of the way. Can we start with Kevin Patton? What was going on with Kevin today?
Kevin is currently away from the team for personal reasons. He has our full support, and hope to have him back real soon.
Chris and Tomislav both go down late in the first half. They don't return. I did see Chris warming up, so I'll just ask you, what's the status on those two injuries?
I don't know exactly what it'll look like going forward. Neither was able to finish the game, so that's typically not a good sign. But I know both those guys will do a good job in their recovery and try to get ready.
Tomislav in particular is a guy that for 11. Well, let me start with the 11:55 he did play. For 12 minutes, he was scoreless and reboundless. And this is coming off a game when he only had those 2 rebounds until that final one at the end. I am curious if there's something else if there was something coming into this game going on with him that he was scoreless and reboundless in 12 minutes.
No, nothing. Just kind of the way the game went. He wasn't able to put his imprint on it, but that's not a long-term concern in my mind.
And just to make sure so we don't get it wrong, can you say if it was left or right? Because I know he was kind of limping and helped off, but I don't know for sure what it was.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either. All right. So, all right, when Tomislav goes out and when the rebounding is a concern and something that you said on Friday that you guys really have to improve on the rebounding. What do you do to adjust to that when you know such an individually gifted rebounder is not going to be with you for a whole half? Are there specific things you do to combat that?
No, we didn't make any adjustments. I mean, we know how we want to play when JT's on the floor. We know how we want to play when Tomislav's on the floor. We know how we want to play when Milos is on the floor. We got confidence in all those guys. So it was just kind of the normal approach.
And then in terms of like just satisfaction, seeing that you out-rebound a team 44-29 in a game that Tomislav does only play 12 minutes. Are you satisfied? 4 of your guys, 7 rebounds, so it was a total group effort. Pretty satisfied with that?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job on the glass for the most part. Specifically the offensive glass. Obviously JT had a bunch of them, but it was a pretty group effort. A bunch of different guys had multiple. A bunch of different guys had offensive rebounds. Jake Hall's 7 rebounds. I know everybody talks about the points, but that's got to be a career high for him. I thought Joel did a nice job on the glass. I thought that was a step in the right direction, and hopefully something we can build on.
And then I'll finish with this. Luke Hopp's minutes again for a couple games in a row. I know you've always talked him up and said he's that kind of guy, but he's done it now 2 games in a row where I think the second half of both of these games, he was a big reason why you guys looked so good.
Yeah, I thought Luke was fantastic tonight in a bunch of different ways. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. He just makes a ton of plays. He's around the ball all the time. Plays with a lot of physicality, has versatility defensively and how we match up. So when we lost guys, that versatility certainly helped in our ability to kind of play different lineups. So he's a really important player for us.
Tom and Chris, was that a decision that you made just to keep him out, knowing that the conference game is coming up next, or was that something your training staff came to you and said they cannot go?
We make all those decisions collectively.
Okay. As far as the non-conference look, you're 11 games in. Could you indulge us, maybe kind of grade how your team has done so far?
I think if you just look at the win-loss record, I think we feel pretty good about the position we're in. I think if you look possession to possession at how we're playing, we feel like there's a lot of room for growth and growth that needs to happen if we want to get to where we want to go, right? If this is a group that has kind of championship aspirations in the Mountain West, we're not at that level. We don't have the level of consistency we need there. We have to improve in a lot of areas, but we are capable of making that progress. And I think part of the reason we have the record we have at this point is because we've made progress since we've started, the competitions. And so if we can continue to improve and make similar progress throughout the the conference season, then I think we have the potential to compete at a high level. But we do have to make more progress.
Now, your last 20 games are all inside the conference. Does that change things, the way the preparation is, maybe personnel-wise for you?
No, our preparation is going to be pretty consistent.
Coach, first of all, you got to 9 wins in 11 games. Coach, I took 12, so congratulations on that. But this coming off a big win like that, and then next game is conference game. Is this kind of a harder game to prepare for, having that last one before conference play begins?
I mean, I think, you know, there's human nature aspect of how the season kind of, you know, flows. So we had 2 really big wins, and then we had long travel coming back from Virginia, you know, and so I think that there is an element of human nature. Like if you look at some of the games where we started slow, we were on the road in Kansas City, had a good win, came back, had a little bit of trouble getting it going in that one. Similar thing here. We were aware of that. We knew that this was a good basketball team, and those challenges exist relative to the schedule. But you know, those are just excuses. Like, you got, when the ball goes up, you got to be ready to go. And you know, I really like the way we responded, though. You know, and that's something I think that's really gotten us to where we are at this point is our ability to respond, not really overreact to poor performances or bad stretches. And you know, so I thought our guys did that again, and I'm sure we'll need to do it again in the future. We'll keep working at it.
So how long have you been waiting for that block play for Uriah on the alley-oop?
Oh, that was specific to the way they play out of bounds defense. That's a Coach Tom Tankelwood's special there. I got no credit for that. You know, so we knew, like, kind of the way they play on the ball, that would be there if we wanted it. I thought he picked a good time for it. Guys executed well.
And then as conference play does begin, I mean, the fans let their presence be known by a couple of those calls by the refs tonight. How important is it to fill the pit with Lobo fans?
I mean, we got some of the best fans in the country, and we want them all here every time out, you know. Lobo Nation makes a huge impact when this place is full, and you know, our guys feed off that. So, you know, we're excited for conference play and what's coming ahead.
3-point shooting's at under 21% today. They were giving you guys some trouble, obviously, and I know Jake's not going to shoot 2 for 10 every game, but 3-point shooting wasn't very good today. I'm curious if you're a little concerned, if that's one of the areas where you're saying, you know, we're not where we need to be, if 3-point shooting is actually one of those concerns at this point.
Nope, no concerns there.
Do you think something that they did today took you out of it, or is it just sort of an off, again, 2 for 10 kind of day for Jake and 0 for 3 for Dayton? Did they do something specific to create that? In the game, it felt like a lot of the looks we wanted just didn't go. You know, sometimes that stuff's contagious a little bit, but you know, I have to go back and look. I felt pretty good about most of those shots, and you know, we've been through this before. We want Jake shooting as many of those as possible. We want Joel to shoot all those shots. Like, we believe in those guys. We know what that can look like on any given night. Luke getting a technical, were you surprised at all that Luke was, I guess, as feisty as he was after he thought he felt like got hit in the face?
I thought Luke's reaction was appropriate.
Anything else for Coach?
No.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Coach.